Welcome to Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
And this week, feel the sound, feel the rhyme, let's turn it up, it's podcast time!
Cool Runnings from 1993.
We're looking for a sponsor for the first Jamaican bobsled team.
Their dream was to compete in the Olympics. But they chose a sport they knew nothing about.
Very good.
In a climate they had never been.
Cold weather endurance is vital to building a successful sled team.
This is the true story of four unlikely athletes. But they found in each other
Do you really expect these Jamaicans to qualify?
the courage to give it their all.
Not only are they going to qualify, they're going to turn some heads doing it.
What a 90s movie.
It's a it's almost an 80s movie, 90s movie. It's so close.
I mean, kind of, it feels more 90s, like Mighty Ducks to me. It's very similar vibes to Mighty Ducks.
Oh, it's very, very similar. It's 90s Disney to a T, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy that this happened in 1988, and then they made this, this movie came out 5 years later.
Yeah, but this story was made for a movie, I mean, really.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so soon after.
Too soon.
Like, how... Don't talk about the bobsled crash, it's too soon.
But didn't they do better in 1992 or something like that?
I have no idea, because I wasn't alive when this event happened, so...
That's fair.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Let me read the synopsis really quick. Okay. Tuck in a little bit, because this is quite the synopsis.
A journey?
Yeah, let's go down the bobsled. It's a bobsled route probably is faster than this synopsis.
All right.
Cool Runnings. Sports, biographical, family, comedy. And you can watch this on Disney Plus, by the way.
Of course.
Based on a true story, this is the comedic saga of four Jamaican athletes going to extremes to compete to compete as bobsled racers in the Winter Olympics. With few resources and virtually no clue about winter sports, it's an uphill course for this troupe from the tropics who are sliding on thin ice as they go for the gold in Calgary, Canada. Refusing to let anything stand in their way, these four Jamaicans enlist the help of down-and-out ex-champion American slider named Irv. Unavoidably drawn back into the sport he came to loathe, Irv is faced with coaching a team of complete novices. But once committed, he is determined to turn them around and to somehow right the wrongs of his own failed career. It's a bumpy ride, but with pride, determination, and dignity. The bobsledders make their impossible dreams come true. Contains tobacco descriptions.
Wow.
That synopsis. All of the Disney Plus synopsises are kind of a lot, though.
Yeah, they are. Well, and the funny thing is the Amazon ones are usually 10 words or less.
Right, because they're just, here's one sentence.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Barely a sentence, even that.
Very hard to buy.
Barely a sentence.
So, our director, John Turtletap, directed The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Sorcerer's Apprentice, the kid?
Yeah, I guess that's true. We did see that, too.
So we liked some of his movies.
Yeah, I just don't know how he went from this to Sorcerer's Apprentice. How is it the same person?
Well, wait, there's National Treasure, too. And that's the same actor and director, right?
You mean Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Yes.
And him, yeah. So, I mean,
maybe
National Treasure's probably bad, but...
No, actually, the first one's not bad. But maybe Nicolas Cage was like, come on, John, let's make this sweet movie.
Well, no, Nicolas Cage admitted that he made all those shitty movies, including Sorcerer's Apprentice, because he needed to make money for his crazy mom, his taxes, and some other shit. Like, he was just having a rough time in his life, so he had to do it.
That's in fact, yeah, that did happen.
Yeah. And he also directed While You Were Sleeping, which I think we mentioned before.
We did. We definitely mentioned that.
It's just such a weird, like, none of the movies go together.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Usually there's like a style or a type, and none of them go together.
Yeah, this is nothing like The Kid, for sure, which it has to be like the next one, right? Next Disney movie, at least.
Next Disney movie, yeah.
Because While You're Sleeping is in between this and that, even, I think.
I thought While You Were Sleeping was an 80s movie.
No, it's a 90s movie.
Hold on.
Watch, it's a 2000s movie.
Hold please. Oh, okay, so While You Were Sleeping was after...
Cool Runnings. And before The Kid, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, and in between those two was Phenomenon with John Travolta.
Oh, wait, is that the one with the albino kid thing?
No, that's Powder. That's a different thing.
Powder.
No, Phenomenon is the one like John Travolta has like special powers or something.
But Powder and that movie were like the same movie, and I think they came out like at the same week.
I don't know. I know that my mom likes the movie Phenomenon. Like, she went through a phase where she watched it like 10 times. But I think she just really likes John Travolta. I don't know. But I want to watch Phenomenon. This movie had 3 writers: Lynn Seifert, Michael Ritchie, and Tommy Swerdlow.
Yeah. I
like how the Lynn Seifert person... This is all they wrote, and they wrote the story. Really? You wrote the story.
Like, yeah, they wrote the story.
You wrote the true story.
They did it. And the Hollywood guy, he wrote Child's Play.
The which guy?
Tommy Swedlow.
Oh, yeah. He also wrote Little Giants, which is another 90s movie.
Another Disney movie.
No, it's not Disney.
Oh, it's not?
No, that one I think is Touchstone, I think.
Weird.
I don't think that's a Disney movie. That's like that's like in the realm of Sandlot and some of these other Big Green Little Giants.
I'm surprised just because it has Rick Moranis. I assumed it was a Disney movie.
No, I think it's Touchstone.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But then the Michael Ritchie guy, he's more of a director. He directed Bad News Bears, Golden Child, and Fletch. Lots of 80s comedy movies.
Bad News Bears is such a good movie.
I've actually never seen it. I'm sorry.
We need to watch it soon.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
So our actors...
John Candy!
So what do you think about most when someone says John Candy?
Hilarious.
No, but I mean, like, what movie?
Uncle Buck.
So I got a confession to make.
You haven't seen Uncle Buck?
I've never watched Uncle Buck.
What is wrong with you? You like those movies. You like that guy's movies.
I know.
What's his name? Crying out loud, the director.
I've never seen it, so how would I know what the director is?
He's the same director as The Breakfast Club and Home Alone.
Oh, John Hughes.
Yeah, it's a John Hughes movie. And it's a great John Hughes movie.
Okay, well, we'll watch it.
Young Macaulay Culkin is all over it. The bratty girl. And John Candy is so goddamn good. Okay. He's a fat icon. He's the best.
All the fat dudes have him on a wall.
Yeah, I sure do.
I think I either think about Home Alone or replace the polka guy.
Yeah.
It's a small part, but that's one of my favorite parts of that movie.
He's a killer. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's unbeatable as how amazing John Candy is. You can put him in the tiniest part, and he'll shine brighter than everybody in the whole movie.
Correct, sir.
I also love him in Spaceballs, but that's another thing. I do love that.
What's he called? He's Rolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh? Oh! Look, it's got a mind of its own, sweetheart. I can't do a thing with it.
Yeah, I love that as well. But that is a whole different thing. But how can you like that? Because it has Bill Pullman. Is it non-creepy Bill Pullman?
I like it. I think I just like it because it's funny, but Bill Pullman is like...
He's funny in it.
I think Rick Moranis is the funniest part of that movie.
I think Rolf is the funniest part.
I mean, that's funny too.
All of it's funny. The chick is really funny in that movie too.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is just funny.
And Joan Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Spaceballs is a great
movie. Yeah. Spaceballs with that.
Yeah, not...
With Disney Odd Pod, I mean. Yeah. And then we have Leon.
He's like Cher.
Doris.
He only has one name.
And he's done some stuff. I mean, he was in a Little Richard biography, and he's continued to kind of act, but nothing major, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because he's a really charming guy on screen.
Well, he played in a lot of, like, I don't know how to say this in a very PC way, but he was like in a lot of black movies in the 90s. He was the hot boyfriend. Like,
yeah, because he's a very pretty man.
Yeah, he's like pretty. Yeah, he was in like Waiting to Exhale, Above the Rim, some of these other 90s movies.
Oh, right,
he played,
that makes sense.
He played the boyfriend. And then Dougie Doug,
who everybody loves, but he's just... It's disappointing that he hasn't done it much. I feel like Chris Tucker stole the Dougie Doug roles, but Chris Tucker was like a more bad boy Dougie Doug, so they just did Chris Tucker instead.
Dougie Doug should have done Rush Hour.
Okay, let me ask you this. It would have just been... Rush Hour would have been PG-13 with Dougie Doug in it, and it would have been just as good.
So maybe that's like an alternate universe where Dougie Doug is Chris Tucker.
I'm just saying. And I like Chris Tucker a lot, too.
And,
I think Chris Tucker's funny, but I also think Dougie Doug is funny.
And Chris Tucker is Sanka.
Yeah. He could have done it. They do a lot of the same, like, making loud noises and being scared, yeah.
Ice!
Yeah.
That's my Chris Tucker impression.
Damn, it's cold!
But this is best Dougie Doug. Because remember, we talked about that before with when we were watching Dumbo Drop. We started with the worst Darn Cat remake.
Yeah, and then Dumbo Drop, he's the same. He's Sanka Coffee in Dumbo Drop.
And then,
but this is just better Sanka Coffee.
Yeah. The guy who played Junior, Raleigh D. Lewis, he literally pretty much has done nothing.
He's done some things, but yeah, not much. But he lied to even get on this movie.
What do you mean?
He lied about his acting experience in his home country of Trinidad.
Oh my god.
So he was like a nobody, and he just got into this movie, and he's perfect for his role.
He does do a good job.
He plays a good rich boy.
And then Malik Yoba.
Who has done the most out of all these guys by far.
So he basically is the guy who's like, yeah, I'll do 6 episodes of this TV show, and then he goes away and does something else.
Or being on, a whole bunch of TV shows and just being a cool... I mean, he seems like a cool guy, though.
Yeah.
It makes sense why you'd have him on a lot of TV shows.
He's a working actor. But this was the first thing he ever did.
Let's get one thing straight, Panak. We may be on the same team, but I am no one's teammate. Long as you come here to bobsled. Hey, listen, man, the only reason why I come here is to get off of this stinking island.
Yeah,
no TV, no anything.
And he got a record deal from one of the songs from this, too, that he wrote.
What, the Rise Above It song? Is that him?
No, I think it was one of the other ones, but it's just one of the fun facts I'm vaguely remembering.
So speaking of fun facts, Dougie Doug still has Sanka's lucky eggs. He kept them from the set because they were made of rubber.
That's hilarious.
So we kept him.
Well, here, I'll keep it in line with Dougie Doug. Dougie Doug only thought this movie would make $50 million. Spoiler, it made a lot more.
I'm sure it did. Because it's really inspiring. And spoiler, it's a good movie. This was
Wait, were we going into this thinking that it wasn't a good movie?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure at the end of the last episode I was like, this is a fantastic movie.
Well,
no matter
I don't know.
what.
I mean, maybe somebody hasn't seen it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that doesn't mean that you don't know that it's great.
This was the final John Candy film released before he died of a heart attack.
Yeah, sad.
Not a fun fact, but it is a fact.
No, it was horrible. Horrible fact. Which is weird, because I thought...
No, they had one.
Wagon Z's.
Wagon Z's came out after he died.
Yeah, but that movie's funny as fuck. It's such a silly idea. Disney wanted all these people to sound like Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. Which was a horrible take by the Disney executives.
Well, yeah, because they're like, oh, Jamaican. Everybody in Jamaica sounds the same. Which is so stupid, because that's like saying everybody in the United States sounds the same. There's probably different dialect, different, like, in Jamaica.
Course. And Sebastian wasn't authentically Jamaican. He's just generically Caribbean, I would say.
Yeah, he doesn't even say, like, no problem, man, in any part of the movie. He says, like, no, Ariel. What?
No, Ariel.
Yeah, he doesn't really say
your father.
The traditional Jamaicanness. Denzel Washington turned down the role of Doris, and Eddie Murphy turned down the role of Sanka because they both didn't think there was enough money.
Well, yeah, that makes sense because the budget of this movie was only $14 million. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it would be as good of a movie with Denzel and Eddie Murphy in it.
No, and nothing against either of them, but I just think that it's good with a story like this. You need unknown people. Because I think anything else, having John Candy is one thing. But...
And for me to say that Eddie Murphy shouldn't be in a movie is basically, that's sacrilegious. I would never say that.
Yeah.
Really.
No, it makes more sense to have lesser known people.
Well, and this movie is perfect for Dougie Doug because Dougie Doug is silly. And that silliness is what really kind of seals him as a character. Yeah. And Eddie Murphy is funny, but he's not silly.
Yeah, I
he can be silly as a cartoon character, but not as a dude. Yeah. Because as a dude, he's too worried about being, like, sexy and cool. Yeah. And that doesn't work for Sanka at all.
No, Sanka is like the class clown.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any other ones?
No, I think that's it.
I got one more. Tupac auditioned for a role in this movie, and they were like, no.
Oh, yeah. So this would have been...
I mean, what did he want to play? John Candy's character?
He could have been a good Yul Brynner.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. He seems like he's not, like, I don't know, jacked enough.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I can't even really recall if he's big.
I feel like Tupac and Prince have like the same body type in my head. It's probably wrong.
No. Tupac's bigger than that. I'm trying to think of him next to Janet Jackson in Poetic Justice.
And that's how
It's my only real, like...
Yeah, but isn't she like 4'5" or something?
That's what I mean. I'm trying to remember how he compares to her. Because I don't know exactly how big Dr. Dre is, so picturing them next to each other is like, I don't know.
Tupac is 5'9". Ooh. Or was 5'9", depending on who you talk to.
So, I bet Yul Brynner's not much bigger than that. Malik Yoba.
Oh, I guess Prince is only 5'2", so that's...
Yeah, Prince is...
what's the guy's name?
Malik, Malik, Yoba.
No, he's 6'2".
Oh, okay, yeah, no, never mind.
No. Because he's supposed to be kind of like an intimidating guy.
Well, he comes off as intimidating on the screen, so no Tupac. That's a bad Tupac.
Maybe he auditioned for the role of Doris.
That would be even worse. Doris is like 6'5" or 4.
Yep. No, he wanted to be John Candy. He's like, I can get fat for this role, just wait.
Oh boy, what a weird guy.
Who, Tupac or John Candy?
Tupac, with the gangster rap and the acting.
Yeah.
Just a very interesting character in American history.
Yeah. All right. Should we bobsled our way through this?
Yeah, let's sled down the track.
Run our way through this? Isn't it called, like, isn't that what a bobsled run? Isn't that what it is?
Bobsled run? Yeah.
Okay.
Run time, yeah.
Speaking of running.
We watched enough of it this winter. We should damn well know.
Yeah. You would hope. Yeah. The movie opens and Detrice was running. And
Detrice was running.
And it was...
through toilet paper.
A lot of running.
And Sanka was driving. And it was a lot of driving.
Oh, because, the pushcart race was, I guess, is a thing in Jamaica. I don't know.
I feel like that might have been a thing kind of up until about right then.
Yeah.
That it was too dangerous and then they just kind of went away.
Yeah.
So we established that those two can do those things.
Well, except for Sanka crashes.
But he already finished. He crashed at the end because the guy pushed him. But he already won.
I guess I didn't realize that he won. I thought he just...
No, he won, but the guy pushed him afterwards.
Gotcha.
Winston, jump!
Was that the little kid?
Yeah.
Winston? Oh, okay.
That's what he says right before they crash into the car. He goes, Winston, jump!
What? So Detrice is like psyched up for the Olympics.
Doris, not Detrice.
Sorry. So Doris is psyched up for the Olympics. And did I say Detrice earlier too? Oh, okay. Sorry, everybody. I'm dumb. I wrote down Detrice also because I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Doris is ready for the Olympics. And he's going to go to the trial race because his dad was some big Olympic race person.
Well, yeah, he won gold medals as a sprinter as well.
And he gets tripped along with Yul Brynner
and Junior, because Junior does the tripping.
Yeah. And so they all don't go to the Olympics because they fell. And the Olympic committee guy is like, no, we can't redo the race. Sorry.
Of course they can't. Yeah,
no,
you can't
it's not
do that.
fair.
Yeah.
And then he asks him about the picture of his dad with the white guy, about John Candy, a very young and thin John Candy.
Which there was never actually such a thing as a young and thin John Candy, but whatever.
No. He just came out into the world as fat.
Well, when he was on SCTV in Canada, he was fat, young man. Yeah, I mean, there was just no young, thin John Candy.
But in this movie, in this alternate reality where he's an Olympic athlete, there was. And so him and Sanka try to go convince John Candy to coach their bobsled team.
And he's like, no, and he's violent, and he's crazy and drunk, and he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's washed
and
up.
Unshaven. I like his unshavenness. It looks good on screen.
Yeah, he's washed up.
Yeah.
He's not into it.
Excuse me. Are you Mr. Irving Blitzer?
Well, that depends on who's asking.
My name is Doris Bannock. This is my teammate, Sanka Coffey.
Greetings, sled god.
We were just wondering if you'd be interested in coaching the first Jamaican bobsled team.
Remember the radio? Stick? Sitting in the stick? Let's go! We're in!
finally they're persistent, and so he's like, okay, we'll have this meeting, and all these Jamaican guys show up, and they're showing this film of this horrible bobsled accidents.
Well, yeah, and it's like, a bobsled is a simple thing. So is a toilet, man!
Yeah. And...
yeah, and it just turns into this crash reel of bobsleds, especially back in the 40s and stuff, in the black and white times when there was no safety measures. Of course, if you crashed your bobsled back then, you're going to get fucked up.
Yeah, he's like, like, that's horrible. Because he's hoping they're all just going to leave, which they do, so that he won't have to coach them. But then, Yul Brynner, after the film is done, and everybody is gone, and John Candy's like, oh, too bad, sorry.
Yeah, because it's just Yul, Derice, and Senka.
At first it's just Senka and Derice, and then Yul...
No, there's three of them. Yul stays.
Oh, he does stay.
Yeah.
I thought he came in after...
Junior's the one that comes in after, and then Yul goes after... And he's like, I'll kill you!
Okay, so I thought they both showed up later.
No. Yul was the only one that stayed behind, because that's where he's like, haha, there's only three of you, and then Junior comes in.
Gotcha.
And it so happens that Yul and Junior are wearing pink shirts in that scene, which I find hilarious. It's very 90s.
Well, I mean, yeah, the clothes in this movie are fantastic.
Yes, like, they are.
They're amazing.
Yeah. A 13-year-old me is like, oh my god, I want that shirt.
You thought you'd want the orange and black pants they have in Canada. That Yul's wearing in Canada. Those like orange and black snow pants.
Yeah. Well, but really, pretty much all of these clothes, 13-year-old me is like, gimme.
The clothes from the 80s?
From the 90s.
Well, but it's in the 80s.
Yeah, but they didn't date this.
They didn't date it well. No, yeah, I guess if they were literally filming it,
and really the late 80s and the early 90s are all the same thing.
True.
I mean,
true.
A lot of times people are like, oh, that's so 80s, and it's really like 1991.
Don't get it twisted. It's 1991 or 1989. Yeah. So basically, they have their team, and we get the initial training montage where they're just crashing everywhere.
Gonna be a montage in a wheeled bobsled.
Yeah, because there's no snow.
There's no snow. Yeah. They're in their wheeled bobsled that he says weighs 600 pounds, which is completely impossible. There's no way that thing weighs 600 pounds.
So they have to raise money because the Olympic Committee won't give it to them because they're like, yeah, no, we're not funding your bobsled thing.
Yeah.
So they do this whole thing where
Yul is arm wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Derice is giving out kisses.
Which his lady does not like that at
all. Of course not.
No.
And of course, Yul loses to a lady in arm wrestling.
Yeah. And, which is pretty good. And Sanka's like singing on the street, and then...
The guy pays him $1 to shut up.
Yep.
Which is one of the better scenes.
Yep.
We have the one Derice and the one Junior. I'll pay you $1 to shut up.
So they don't have any money, and then Junior shows up, and he's got all the money.
Give me the loot, because he sold his car.
Yep.
His BMW, or Mercedes.
And his whole thing is that his dad doesn't know that he's doing this, and doesn't know that, because his dad doesn't want him to...
Because his rich dad wants him to go work in an investment bank and get on with his life and stop doing athletics, because he's got better shit to do.
So they got their money, and now they're going to go to Canada.
And they're like... Hey man, Jamaica, you don't believe
Jamaica,
we got a
bobsled team. We got the one Derice and the one Junior. Something, I can't remember.
Yeah. And so they take off to Canada and it's cold. He's like, I'm not smoking, man, I'm breathing.
Oh yeah, because they're outside. This was a little racy for a Disney movie in parts. It had a few little...
Yeah, but I mean, really, to think about going from Jamaica to Calgary.
In winter.
Calgary has got to be one of the coldest places on Earth.
Yeah, because he said, I think he's like, oh, it's only... it's negative whatever degrees or something. Like
minus 25.
Yeah, that's...
Which, I don't know if y'all have ever experienced minus 25. I definitely have.
Yeah.
That's fucking cold.
It's pretty bad. It's cold. I mean, I've never done that, but it's cold.
Oh, okay. So you know from experience.
I'm imagining the coldest I've ever experienced, which I think is like 10 degrees. And then I'm just imagining like... No. Minus 20 more degrees.
No, when you get into the minuses like that, and you like spit and it hits the ground, it's basically ice when it hits the ground, or it just It's a different kind of thing when it's that cold.
Yeah, I would know, and I don't really want to find out. So I'm good. I don't really need that in my life. It's fine.
You don't want to go to Wyoming in the winter with
No. I'm good. So John Candy's like registering them for the trials.
Olympics, yeah, Olympic trials.
And it's clear that he did something bad.
Yeah, he did something bad, and the people are like, oh my god, you look like shit, or...
Yeah, they're like, the one guy won't even talk to him. They're all basically like, fuck off. And then the one guy does talk to him. He's like, hey, I need a sled. And he's like, okay, fine. There's like a bunch of little kind of mini montages of them like trying to walk on the ice and falling. And Doris is like obsessed with the Swiss team.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And he's just like, yeah, let's do it like them.
But they get their sled and it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's a junk, unpainted metal sled. It just looks like shit.
Everyone is just staring at them because they've never seen black guys in Canada, apparently. And
well, I think it's black guys in the Winter Olympics is the real problem.
And they said assholes in a Disney movie.
They did?
Yeah, he's like, it's because we look like assholes.
Oh. Was that Yul Brynner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. And so they go
first and last, probably. Unless they might have said asshole in The Kid.
No, they said it in James and the Giant Peach. Remember they said something like, you sir are an ass.
It's not the same as asshole. Because arse can be fudge.
No, he didn't say arse. He said ass.
Yeah, but arse.
Yeah.
Papali.
Yeah, it's a papali. They're going down their first bobsled real run, and Sanka just like can't handle it. He's screaming, and they crash horribly. It's awful.
Yeah.
There's like a kind of a, not really a throwaway scene, but they're in the hotel room and they're all making fun of Yule because he has this picture of Buckingham Palace and he's like, I'm gonna live here. And he's like, that's where the Queen lives. Like, he's just kind of stupid. And then Junior's like, no, it's okay. If you want to live there, you can live there.
Yeah, the world would be a better place if there was more Yul Brenners.
But you're still gonna end up in an outhouse shanty like every other dock working nobody.
It says who?
It says me, rich boy. What you know about it?
Well, I know my father started off in a one-room hut. Now he lives in one of the biggest homes in Kingston.
Well, he ain't your father.
He doesn't have to be. All he has to do is know what he wants and work hard for it. And if he wants it bad enough, he'll get it. Look, believe me, Sanka, the more Yul Brenners we got making it in this world, the better off this world would be. Especially for Jamaicans.
This is where his walls start coming down and they start being friends.
Well, where Junior and Yule become friends. Because it's not really the other two become friends. It's Junior and Yule become friends.
Yeah. And this is also where we found out that John Candy was cheating in the 72 Olympics by weighting his sled, which apparently, also fun fact, is not illegal. You just have to have your sled within a certain weight range. You can put weights in the front of it.
Right, but he obviously put too many.
Too many.
Yeah.
And then there's the bar scene.
Yeah, this is where my notes start to go.
That's okay.
There's a lot. This is like...
So they go out to the bar, except for Doris. He doesn't go out.
Yeah, well, obviously Doris is not going out. Doris is like studying the corners and...
Yeah, because
cereal.
Earlier in the movie, we kind of glossed over this. So Sanka doesn't get to be the driver because John Candy knows that he's kind of a fuck up. And so he knows, like, somebody like Doris needs to be the driver who's focused and who can... And can
study and all that stuff. And the brake man is kind of like your last line of defense.
Yeah. So... They go to the bar, and they get kind of in a fight with the Swiss people.
Kind of a fight? Yeah. They're getting a full-on bar fight with the Swiss.
It's a full bar fight, and they go back to the room, and Doris is like, fuck you guys, like, I can't believe you did this, and they're all laughing, and then Doris is like, oh, all mad, and then Sanka has to give him, like, a pep talk, like, stop talking to us like we're the Swiss, and da-da-da-da-da, we need to do our own thing.
Swiss team not fighting or smiling, man.
Yeah. And
I got a lot of he hate me vibes.
Yeah. And so it's like the first kind of little tiff they have. And then there's another training there's the full training montage where they're running in the snow.
Rise above it.
Yep. And they're lifting weights and doing the thing.
Rise above it. Now. Straight. Turn 6. Right. Turn 7. Straight. Turn 8. Right.
And they get new uniforms.
Their uniforms are spot the fuck on, though.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
What are we gonna name this flag?
How about Tallulah?
Tallulah. Tallulah. That sounds like a $2 hooker. How you come up with that?
That's my mother's name.
Tallulah. That's nice. I like it. So what's it gonna be, Star? What are the people gonna be screaming when Jamaica takes the hill? I say we call it Cool Runnings.
So they make the qualifying time, but then they get a letter of disqualification.
And I don't even remember why exactly.
Because they were saying that they didn't have a professional race on their whatever.
Oh, right.
And he said, and John Candy goes to the committee and he's like, this is a bunch of bullshit. When was that a rule? Oh, it was just established. And like, basically calls them out for being racist, because that is what they're doing. Because he's like, oh, a bunch of black guys in a sled are going to freak you out. And so then they end up getting back in.
Right. So that was, which I could have just done without that whole part. That was the only part, like, let's not do the disqualified, requalified. Let's just yank that out.
But I mean, that probably actually happened, though, don't you think?
I don't care. Like, that's just, I don't need it. I mean, I get the whole
or they had
race
to try to add more substance to it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so they're back in, and then Junior's dad comes to pick him up because he's an ass.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you need to go home with me, da-da-da-da-da. And so Junior finally stands up to him. And he's like, no, Dad, this is your dream, not mine.
That's right. I'm not going to be an investment banker, man.
Yeah. And so they go to their first real Olympic run, and they are super nervous. They have a horrible run. Everybody's watching them on TV. It's really bad. And then this is where Doris and Sanka have like the real heart-to-heart, where Sanka, because Doris was like doing the whole Swiss thing,
the
like,
Ein, Zwei, Drei,
and like slapping them on the helmets, and he made them all nervous.
Yeah, and mad. That's not what those guys don't need to be slapped on the helmet.
Yeah, so he's like, we need to be Jamaican, not Swiss. So then they have a good run. And everyone's like, oh my God, we love Jamaica.
And like, look, let Jamaica be Jamaica, man.
And then there's a John Candy and Doris heart-to-heart where he's like, why'd you do it, coach? Why'd you cheat? And he's like, how am I going to know if I'm enough? And he's like, you'll know when you cross the finish line. And so then it's their next race, and everybody's like, oh, they could win a medal. It's super dramatic. And they're, feel the rhythm, feel the run. Get on up, it's bobsled time. Cool runnings. And then they're going, and they're, oh my God, they're faster than the Swiss. Oh my gosh. And then they crash, and it's really horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's really kind of horrific, actually.
Yeah.
But then he's like, oh, I have to finish the race. And so they carry the sled across the finish line.
You being better, Ojo.
And they carry the sled across the finish line, and it's very moving. And I don't know about you, it was a little misty in there for me.
Not misty for me, but I've seen this movie like 500 times, so I don't no mist needed.
Well, I haven't seen it 500 times, but it was...
You weren't 13 in the 90s.
This moved me, man.
It really did. I absolutely...
But, I mean, weren't you alive for when it actually happened?
88 was a rough time in my life. I was definitely not watching the Winter Olympics. Gotcha. I was 8 years old, too.
Yeah.
Definitely not plugged in. But this movie, totally plugged in. All in, 100%.
All in.
Yeah, all in. The songs, I mean, there was a lot of the made-up songs.
Lots of Jamaican songs.
Yeah, pretty good.
But no...
I mean, these type of Disney movies are not typically known for their songs, but it's better than average for a live action. Yeah.
Although, I guess Bob Marley's music was probably too expensive to do for this movie. They probably couldn't get the rights for it.
And that's probably inappropriate for a lot of Disney fans, right?
Okay, yeah, that's probably true.
You don't want to be smoking the spleef. Don't worry about a thing. Okay, I better stop or we're going to get copyrighted.
Because it sounds just like
Yeah, exactly. So our characters are great. I think we've gone over that quite a bit. Doris, the charming lead sprinter boy.
Oh, I spelt it right there.
Coach Irv, the dirty down under.
I mean, he's literally just like John Candy being himself. Isn't that kind of what he does all the time?
I think John Candy's actually known more for being the nicest human on the planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you got Sanka, the real jokester.
Yeah, the jokester, the huckster, the hilarious guy, which he does great. And Yule, the tough guy, and Junior, the rich boy, man. This movie just hits it all. Like, you're not mad at any of it.
So, the cinematography, I mean, that 90s magic. It's got super, that. It
even creeps a little back into the 80s, but yeah, it's 90s magic.
I just don't even know how to explain it. It's just a thing that, you know.
It is. Moochie moments for this cat? Any kind of memorable lines? Any kind of memorable this or that?
I mean, there's only really one choice. Draw a line on your head, it looks like a butt.
Yeah.
How about I beat your butt right now?
How about I draw a line down the middle of your head so it looks like a butt?
I got I'm not smoking, man, I'm breathing.
It's pretty good. But
yeah,
it's good.
It's good. And we could pick a million different lines from this whole thing.
There are a lot of
You
lines.
dead, man?
Yeah.
No, man.
No, man. Yeah, man.
Surprise or disappointment, that's a non-actable for me. And no.
I mean, I was a little surprised that I got a little misty-eyed at the end of the movie. Wasn't really expecting that.
Okay. Fair enough. And there's no way you don't remake this movie ever.
I mean, no. But
Yeah,
maybe there could be a sequel.
No.
Like,
don't touch the franchise. Just let it be as a standalone beauty.
This time, Sanka does stand-up comedy.
No. That's a bad. And
Sanka and John Candy take a road trip.
And really, in summary for me, this is a fantastic movie for anyone.
It really is good for all ages.
All ages, anyone. It's funny. If you don't like this, you're a horrible person.
And it holds your attention enough for kids too, I think, that
Yeah,
they can pay attention to it,
course.
but it's also funny enough for adults.
Yeah, absolutely. So did you get a budget for this movie, Kat?
$14 million.
Yeah. And somehow it made $156 million worldwide.
It's a lot.
10 times its budget.
I mean, yeah, I'm really surprised they haven't remade it at this point.
Yeah, but you couldn't do anything to remake it.
No. It's, no.
So, Kat, if you had to remake this, if you had to rate this movie, what would you rate it?
So, I mean, I think you like this movie more than I do.
Oh, definitely.
I really liked it. I thought it was really fun, and it's really good, but, like, I honestly don't think I really want to watch it again for, like, a really long time. No, for a long time, like, it was good, but I was also kind of like, okay, like, it was an average movie for me.
Okay.
But I do like it. I acknowledge it's a very good movie, really important movie.
We're gonna have a big spread here.
No, I gave it a 72%.
That's good. That's fair. It's a good movie. For me, 97. All the way.
97%?
Yeah.
Whoa! That's a really high rating.
I think this is one of the best movies that they make.
Oh my god.
Because to me, I don't really see how you get much better. It's really funny. It's heartfelt. There's no boring parts of the movie. You just go right through it. So
97. I guess I was expecting you more to be in like the 85 range or something.
Nope. I think this is practically perfect.
Wow.
Good comedy. Says asshole. And then, so what do you think the critics give this movie?
I mean,
really?
Well, it did get really good reviews. I'm going to say they're probably going to be somewhere in between me and you, maybe like an 85%.
Honestly, not quite as much. 76 with the critics. Because at the time, you got to think, like, a lot of people were like, oh, screw this stupid stuff.
Screw your inspirational bullshit.
With the people, it's more in between us at 81.
Oh, that's about right. Yeah, that's actually...
Yeah.
That's about right.
Oh, I don't have anything pulled up. I forgot about that part.
Jesus Christ, man.
What are you doing?
Get your life together, man.
So we get number 185.
Ooh. This is in the sweet range.
This is in the spice zone.
This is in the spice zone. It's very much in the spice zone. Is this in the 90s?
It is in the 90s. Oh, as a matter of fact, this is only 2 movies away from Cool Runnings. It's 2 movies after Cool Runnings.
What? So that's going to be like 94?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I have no idea, but it's probably going to be great.
Yeah, it probably will be. I feel like I may have seen this, or I may kind of understand what it is. It's from 1994, Blank Check.
Oh my god! We need to watch this, like, immediately.
Well, of course we are.
So, this was a movie that they played a lot on Disney Channel.
That makes sense. That checks out.
I think I've seen this movie at least 25 times.
Okay. So this is kind of like the reverse Cool Runnings, then.
But it's...
like, you've seen this 25 times. I've seen the other one 25 times.
I don't think it's as good as Cool Runnings.
Oh, definitely not.
I don't know.
Definitely not.
But I do have very fond memories of this movie, not gonna lie.
Okay, fair.
So what do you think it's about?
I think like a kid gets a blank check to spend a bunch of money or something. Like there's some like little synapse that's popping in the back of my head, but I think I'm kind of on the right track.
I mean, it's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah. And like I said, I think I may have even seen either a part of it or the whole thing.
We need to watch it, like, immediately.
Papali! Okay, so, next week, we'll be breaking down Blank Check for you. In the meantime...
If you want to leave us a blank check, to sponsor our podcast, we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, go ahead. Drop us an email at disneyoddpod@gmail.com.
Like, subscribe, share, leave us a review on your podcast platform. We really appreciate that. That'd be groovy.
Yeah, and share with your friends. But in the meantime, this has been Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
Bye. The one Doris and the one Junior. Da, 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 da. No, kitty. Go on. Shh.
Cool Runnings from 1997.
1993. You can just leave it in, it's fine.